This show is produced by the Harwood Podcast Network.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris, and we love making this show available to you free of charge. If you'd like to help us keep it that way, make a contribution to our Karma Jar. For more information, visit our website. Today I'm baking a batch of chocolate muffins. I recently received an email from Carol. She's a viewer that lives in France, asking if I had a recipe that I could share. Well, I thought it was a great opportunity to talk about the differences between muffins and cupcakes. Here in the States, cupcakes are super sweet and have a lot of frosting on them, and they're meant to be served more as a dessert. Where muffins are something we would have in the morning or as a snack with a glass of milk or a cup of coffee, and they're not supposed to be as sweet as a cupcake. Now, if you'd like to follow along while I'm making these, get your smartphone and scan the QR code here on the screen, and the recipe will pop right up. To start, I have a 12-cup muffin pan, and I have some of these really cute little paper liners, and I'm going to pop one in each of the wells. And then with my baking spray, I'm going to spritz just the top. Then I'm going to set this to the side. Now in just a minute, I'm going to be going over to the stove to get my chocolate mixture starting to melt. But I wanted to show you the ingredients that I'm going to be using. I have 3/4 of a cup of water, 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and 1/4 of a cup of butter that I've taken out of the refrigerator, and I'm going to cut it into some smaller cubes because I find that melts a lot quicker. And then in my small saucepan, I'll take all these ingredients over to this stove. Now I've put the pan over high heat. I'm going to add the water and bring that to a boil. Then I'm going to turn the heat down to medium, add my chocolate and my butter, and I'm going to stir that until it's melted. Now the chocolate will melt pretty quickly, so I'm just waiting for the butter. And once that melts, I'm going to take it off the heat to cool. Now while the chocolate's cooling, I'm going to measure out my flour. So I have a large bowl, and I'll scoop out 2 cups of flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 cup of sugar. And then I'll take my small whisk and I'll whisk all that together. And now I'm going to stir in 1 egg, 1/3 cup of oil. I'm using a canola oil, but you could use a vegetable oil or a corn oil if you'd like. And 1/2 cup of sour cream. Now I'm using a non-fat sour cream, but you can use whatever you like. And lastly, a 1/2 cup of milk. I'm using a 1% milk today, but you can use whatever you have on hand. And then with my spatula, I'm going to mix this together. Now, if you wanted to, at this point, you could also add 3/4 of a cup of chopped walnuts if you wanted to add a nut to this muffin. I'm just going to leave them plain today, just a plain chocolate. But I think sometimes it's nice if you want to add a little bit of extra protein to a muffin. Adding nuts is a great way to do that. Now as I mix this together, you can see that it's very kind of dry looking, and now it's time to add our chocolate mixture. It's cooled just a little bit. I'm going to pour that in and carefully stir that up. Now at this point, it's important that we really stir this well. We want that chocolate to mix in with all of our ingredients. So we shouldn't see any swirls of chocolate or pockets of flour, anything like that. Now I'm going to take my large cookie scoop and put 1 scoop of batter into each cup, and that's going to fill them up pretty full. That's why it's important that we spritz our muffin pan with that baking spray. That way, should the muffins bake over the top, it won't be a problem for them to release from the pan. Now, after you fill the wells, if there are any dribbles of batter, take a paper towel and just kind of mop those up. We don't want those to burn on our pan. Now, before I pop these in the oven, I wanted to show you one more variation. I have a few more semi-sweet chocolate chips, and if you want, you can take and sprinkle a few of them right on the tops of the muffins. I think I'm going to do that on just a few of them, for those people that like just an extra punch of chocolate. And then you could also take and do a little sprinkle of some walnuts on top if you'd like. Now, I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and these are going to bake for about 20 minutes, but you will want to test them with a toothpick inserted in the center to make sure that they're baked through. Now, I'm going to let these sit here on a cooling rack for about 10 minutes, and now I'm going to pop them out and let them cool the rest of the way on the rack. Well, I wanted to show you the muffins with the walnuts and the chocolate chips on top. They look fantastic. And then look at how nice and high these other ones get. Now you can see how easily this wrapper comes off. That's because we gave it that little bit of baking spray. You'll notice that it doesn't catch a lot of the muffin on the liner, which I really like. And when we open this up, these are not overly sweet at all. They have a nice, delicate chocolate flavor. And if you did want to add just a little bit more sweet to it, try it with a little bit of the chocolate chips on top. That'll give you that extra burst of sweetness if you feel you need it. Now, if you'd like to make these chocolate muffins at home, just go to our website and go to the Nothin But Muffins show page, and I'll have the recipe there for you. If you do make them, don't forget to send me a photo so I can send you the muffin badge. I hope you'll join us on Facebook. I put a lot of questions out to my viewers. I give them a lot of heads up of things that I'm doing and what's going on, so join us there. And as always, if you have any questions or ideas for me, please send me an email. I'll see you next time.